So a lot of you who must have worked with Brew before must be wondering what is really the difference between Brew and BrewMP. So I've tried to call out the key fundamental differences. With Brew, the perception was that it's a closed platform. Closed meaning the client platform and the downloader were very tightly coupled. As you must have seen in the very first slide, majority of the handsets that you see, majority of the Brew handsets that you see in the market are usually the handsets that are also coupled with the download system. So that is why there are a lot of talk that Brew is a very closed system. And it is largely focused on a carrier revenue share model and primarily sold to the operators. That was Brew. Well, BrewMP also can be leveraged by carriers. BrewMP also has a huge path for data revenue for the carriers, but it does even more. First of all, it's open and extensible. It's open not in the sense of having the source code for Brew out there on the internet. No, that is not the meaning of open. The idea of openness is, one, there is a software development kit available on the internet for anybody to download. Then the idea of openness is that the source code for the platform is given away to the licensees with the intention that they can use it to quickly debug and come up with their handsets very quickly. So that is the meaning of openness for the BrewMP platform. Another big thing is it will go above and beyond the operators as well. It will definitely cater to the operators the way Brew has done, but it will also cater to open market handsets where there may or may not be a one-to-one connection with the backend. And lastly, this is also licensed free of cost to the manufacturers. So these are some of the fundamental differences between Brew and BrewMP. The key takeaways are, one, it's open. Two, there is a compelling SDK available on the internet for everybody. And three, there's a lot of focus on not just the operators, but also on the OEMs and on the developers. That's how BrewMP differentiates itself from Brew. BrewMP still leverages a lot of the technology that is Brew based, that Brew is based on. So a lot of the technology is leveraged, and a lot of the ecosystem is leveraged as well. So the idea is to embrace and extend everything that we have at Brew when we move to BrewMP. As you must have seen before, basically what we did was we took everything that we had, which is on the left, which is we had a lot of legacy releases of Brew, 3.x, 4.x, and so on. So we took all that was already working on Brew and extended it, adding more capabilities. One of the biggest ones that comes to my mind is touchscreen support. So we've added a lot of capabilities to BrewMP, and as illustrated by the last bullet on the right bottom, we've actually added a compelling set of UIs as part of the platform. So those UIs are also distributed free of cost with the platform. In fact, we also give out the source code for the UIs for developers as well, so that anybody can leverage it to the best extent that they need without any buy-in from Qualcomm. So that's how we took what we have and extended it to come on to BrewMP. In terms of traction, so early 2010 we had a few new tier 1 operators embrace BrewMP and come up with devices with it. And then as we progressed with 2010, we had a lot of manufacturers embrace it. A lot of existing tier 1 Brew operators, Verizon, KDDI to name a few, embraced BrewMP. And then BrewMP is also being utilized for a lot of the open market handsets, as my colleagues talked to you before. So in addition to catering to an operator-centric pool, it will also cater to all of the open market handsets and to a wide range of the QRDs that Qualcomm is coming out with. I will not bore you with too much technical detail, but this is the software layering diagram, so to speak, of BrewMP. But the key takeaways is, one, it's a complete solution all the way from the kernel to the UI and services. Two, it is very modular, allowing a very easy plug and play, both at the features level and at the applications and services level. One of the building blocks of Brew and BrewMP is that it has to be modular so that it very easily enables a plug-and-play technology. And the third aspect is BrewMP is a protocol agnostic software solution, meaning it will work on CDMA as well as UMTS. And it's largely a software solution. However, it has capabilities built into it to leverage hardware acceleration where available. So whether it's hardware acceleration for image decoders or for camera or for flash, BrewMP has the capability to leverage hardware acceleration that may be available on the device. So in a nutshell, that is what BrewMP is all about. A complete bottom to top solution, very modular, protocol agnostic, and having the ability to leverage hardware acceleration where available. Those are the four pillars based on which BrewMP is being built on. So as some of you, especially those who have been associated with Brew, will realize that a problem with almost all the OSs, it's not a unique problem to Brew, but one of the problems is almost no two devices are identical. So there is a lot of fragmentation. I mean, the ideal dream would be you write an application to BrewMP once, and it runs on all devices which have BrewMP on them. Yes, that is the ideal dream. That's the dream that any OS provider, whether it's Windows Mobile or Android or BrewMP, would want. Unfortunately, as you know, all the devices that sell in the market don't all fall into the same category. They are different in their hardware. They're also different in their software. So what Qualcomm is trying to do is, on the hardware side, we're trying to come up with a few profiles. I mean, each associated with each profile is a set of basic characteristics like the type of keypad, the megapixel of the camera, availability of connectivity, and so on. So we'll come up with a set of hardware profiles. And a basic set. It's not, the intent is to keep the number of profiles to be small. I mean, we don't want to come up with hundreds of profiles because that will take us back to where we already are. So the idea is to come up with a small set of hardware profiles. And likewise, on the software, the idea is to come up with what is called as API levels. Again, a handful of API levels. And the intent here is, if an application has been tested and known to work well on a particular profile with a particular API level, then you should be able to reasonably be assured that the application will continue to work on all handsets which have the same or higher hardware profile and API level. That's the fundamental thinking. So as a developer, you don't have to go test your application on every single device. I mean, we definitely understand how painful that is. So that is the whole intent behind coming up with the concept of hardware profiles and API levels, to try to see how we can take the developer community as close to the dream of write once, run across multiple handsets. That's our intent, and there's a lot of focus being put by Qualcomm in making this happen. The next couple of slides talk about the UI that you've already seen. Again, the key philosophy is two things. One, come up with a commercial quality UI that anybody can use, and two, make it easily customizable so that clearly we understand that everybody wants to differentiate. So it's not possible that every BrewMP device in the market will have the same look and feel. Yes, we completely agree that it's not practical. So the idea is to, one, come up with a compelling UI that's very easily customizable, and two, come up with tools that anybody can use to customize the UI. Right? The intent is not that you need to be a expert C programmer to actually go tweak the UI that comes with the platform. The idea is any UI designer should be able to go quickly customize the UI, test it out on the PC using the SDK, and then put it on the handset. It's with those two philosophies in mind that we're coming up with the UIs. And there again, not all devices are the same tier. So we have, at the bottom end, we have some of the 1100s and 1110s and 6240s. And at the high end, we have the 7X27s and 8Ks and so on. So what we are doing with BrewMP is coming up with two tiers of UIs. There's a low tier, which is largely focused on keypad-based devices. I would say 1100, 1110, and 6240, and so on. There's one UI that caters to that range of devices.